Let's talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, simply straight talk.
Hey, listen, I was just watching this talk show, and they were talking about lazy mates in a relationship. Could you date a person that's lazy?
You know what? I really don't know about that, because being in a relationship with someone that doesn't like to work, cook, or clean, or even share responsibilities, all of that to me, that's just too exhausting.
I agree. There is no way I could have a lazy man sitting around the house while I work my butt off all day, especially if he's not putting nothing down on these bills. Seriously, what type of man does that?
At some point, I would probably begin to wonder, why am I with this person in the first place? Especially if all they want to do is shop.
So, if we were dating, would me being going shopping be a problem?
Of course not. I want you to go shopping. After all, what am I going to eat after playing video games all day until you get home from work?
Are you being cheeky? Yeah, you see, that right there is the very reason you're still single.
I'm joking. Hello? Oh my gosh, she done hung up on me. She done gave me the dial tone.
Welcome to Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie Maddox. So don't get scared. You know we all about that real talk on the Simply Straight Talk show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk show. This is your host, Reggie Maddox. And man, today we're going to talk about lazy mates in relationships, because we've all been there. But do we really have a lazy mate, or is there something else going on? See, this is what we need to talk about, because I think in some ways people are being portrayed as lazy mates when maybe they're not really lazy mates. Maybe it's something else taking place that we might just be overlooking. So that's why we need to have this conversation. That is why we need to talk about this. Because does your mate consider you to be a lazy mate? Is it something about you that's making your mate say, or people say, that you're lazy? Or you just know, look, I'm a lazy mate? Or do you feel like you're old? You have an obligation to be a lazy mate. It's your time. See, that's what we're going to talk about today. Because when we talk about lazy mates, we talk about people who don't cook, who don't clean, who don't contribute to the household. But we're also going to talk about people who are lazy in relationships in another aspect. But I'll get to that a little bit later in the first segment, then we'll carry it on into the second. But the thing about it is, when you're dating somebody and you get into a relationship, sometimes people will be one way in the early stages of dating, and then once they get comfortable, they reveal themselves. And when they do reveal who they truly are, you're kind of like, I didn't know you acted this way. I didn't know you felt this way. I didn't know you did these things. Now, that's in some cases. In other cases, which I think is probably about maybe 70 to 80% of the case, we actually just overlook what we're actually seeing because we don't want to face reality of that. This is what it really is. We want to make it believe that it's something that it's not. So we're seeing the signs, we're seeing the warning notices and the flashing red lights saying, hey, this person is lazy, but we sort of overlook it. Or the person may tell you, you know what, I don't do this, but I do this, and come to find out they do none of it. So that's why today we're going to talk about lazy mates, man, because I have been with a person that's lazy. So I know how it can impact you. But it did kind of help me understand the mindset of the person who I was with back then. But the thing about it is this. I don't agree with it or why everything played out the way it played out. And I'm going to tell y'all about it. But it's just the fact that people will get into relationships and the other person is going to feel like, you know what? I feel like I'm in this by myself. I feel like I'm the one that's having to do everything. You know, I'm with somebody, and this could be a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just say cooking and cleaning is on the woman. Cooking and cleaning is on the man too. Like for me, being a man, I enjoy cooking sometimes. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best cook, but I have no problem getting in the kitchen because I love to prepare something and it's like, oh, this is good. See, that kind of makes me feel good. So I have no problem getting in the kitchen cooking. I have no problem cleaning because I like a clean place. Now, you know, when you're talking about somebody who doesn't cook, man or woman, who doesn't clean, man or woman, or doesn't contribute to the household, now you're talking about a lazy mate is what we're going to say today. That this person is not giving nothing back. Because I've heard many women say, well, you know what? I've dated a guy and all he did was play video games. All he did was watch sports. You know, he worked. When he comes home, he don't do anything. Or he doesn't work and he doesn't do anything, which is what a lot of women are saying today about a lot of the younger men that they're dating. Unfortunately, even some of the older men, which I don't understand, is that they don't do anything. I mean, these are guys who just simply don't contribute at all. It's like they're not even making an effort. But we also got men saying the same thing about women, that, you know, we got guys who are dating women who aren't contributing. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't cook. They don't clean. You know, you're at home all day. I come home from work and you mean to tell me I can't even get a good meal? You mean to tell me I come home from work and I still got to wash dishes, I still got to clean, I still got to cut the yard, I still got to clean the garage and do all the little extra stuff you want me to do, but I'm the sole provider in the household and I can't even come home to a clean house? I can't come home to a mustard sandwich. Come on now. Whether you're a man or woman and you're at home and your mate is out at work bringing home money to help take care of the household, they're dealing with all of the stress of the outside world. You are in your own little world at the house. The least you can do is make it comfortable when they come back home. But both people need to contribute. Both people do. And that's why I don't understand when people say, I don't cook. Now, that's the biggest one for me. And I mean, this is just me personally, you know, but I don't understand that. I don't cook. I don't clean. I don't get that. I don't like doing this. I don't like doing that. You know, I really don't get that. Now, there are a couple things that you can look for in a person that you can kind of tell that this person is lazy. Because one, they're going to flake out. You know, they don't follow through on any commitments. Okay. And that's because, you know, when anything they do that they feel is strenuous or work or labor intended, you know, they're going to actually back out. You know, they might start a job and then it's like, oh, I don't feel like going today. I don't feel well. All of a sudden they're sick. You know, somebody at the job doesn't like them. The manager doesn't like them. They lied about the job description. So they don't stay at a job for a week or 2 weeks. I mean, for them to make 30 days is a miracle because they simply don't want the work. They love the fact that they can just sit at home all day. So when you see a person that doesn't follow through on their commitments, they're always starting something and never do it. And then it takes them forever to jump into the next project because it's beyond procrastinating, because they just have to sit and just think for 8 to 9 months about the next thing that has to take place in their life for them to try to make it appear to you that they do want to do something, that they want to contribute. Or it takes you getting to the point where you're about to have a nervous breakdown and you yelling at them that they say, okay. And they finally decide they're going to jump into something, but they jump right back out of it. They flake out. So you got to watch out for that. Then you got to watch out for the people that feel entitled. And this is something that I've ran across because I have met women and I've also met guys. You know, not dated guys. Let's be clear. I've dated women, but I had male associates and friends, okay, that had this thing about entitlement. Like this, you know, my one homeboy, he was cool and all that, but he had the same mentality of the woman that I dated. You know, he was just like, and he had a great girl, man. I mean, this woman was amazing, but he just had this attitude of, because of the women that hurt him in the past and did him wrong, and the stuff he went through. He was kind of like, oh, I deserve for a woman to take care of me for a change. I deserve for a woman to be there for me and help me out and for me to be pampered. But I'm like, dude, you got a good woman right now. All she's asking you to do is step up. I mean, she didn't even ask you to step up 100%. She's just asking you to step up 50. And he blew it with this whole self-entitled attitude. And it just took away a great woman. And to this day, he regrets the fact that he lost her. He regrets the fact. Regret the fact. Come on, Reggie, talk. He regrets the fact that he lost that woman because he was basically had this self-entitled attitude. I guess she was supposed to compensate him for whatever somebody else did for him in the past. And I have experienced the same thing. There was a woman I knew. She blamed her child for the fact that she couldn't do anything in life. She blamed the men she dated in the past for not being there, not supporting her. And it's just like you wanted to put the blame on somebody else who had nothing to do with your past life. So when you finally get that good person, you got this whole self-entitled attitude that you can just sit back. You're not supposed to do anything. And this person is just supposed to step into your life and make you feel good about everything that took place about your past. So they're supposed to make up for it. So they got to pay the price for the people in your life that came before you. So now you're just a lazy person in a relationship with somebody that wants to build something, but you're not trying to build anything. The only thing that you're doing is taking away. And that's not right. It's not right. Now, one of the other things I talked about is the fact that, when it comes to some relationships, you got to deal with the issue of the fact that some people believe that sex and intimacy is the one thing that they have to offer. And that's what and their whole conversation and everything about them is, look, I'm giving you sex. You in the bed with me at night. You getting this booty. You getting this D. You know what I'm saying? So they all about, they really have the mindset of, listen, I'm giving you sex. What else do you need? What else do I have to give? I'm giving you my body. No. Because people can, let's be real for a second. Now, I don't never get graphic about that type of stuff on the show, but I want to clear something up. For those of you out there who feel like you don't have to learn to cook, even put in the effort to learn to cook or clean or just contribute to the household, paying bills, helping to make things easier in the household. For you to have the attitude that you giving your mate sex makes up for everything else. You can sit around the house, relax, hang out with your friends, do whatever, while your mate pays all the bills, cooks, cleans, does everything, manages the household, and you feel all you got to do is get into bed, climb on top of them, and all of a sudden, everything is even. Their stress is gone. They feel better because they got to sleep with you. Do you not realize that they can find somebody else to do the exact same thing and probably without the headaches? Here's an old saying, and people never like when I say this, but I stick by this saying because it is true to life as it can be. And this is my motto for anybody that I'm with. You have to be bringing more to the table than a prostitute or a maid. Now, take it how you want to take it, but it's simply put that if I'm going to be with you, yes, sex is nice. Sex is fine. We all love sex. I love sex. But the thing about it is not the sole foundation of a relationship. It is not what's going to keep me with you. If we were to break up, it may make me say, man, I miss having this. And that's an urge that I can get rid of real quick. And when I say, so that's what I mean, because a prostitute will do whatever you want as long as she getting what she want, which is money. So basically, you doing the same thing. You got to be bringing more to the table than a prostitute, more than just sex. You got to be bringing conversation. You have to bring intellect. You have to bring something that's going to emotionally stimulate me to see more to you than just sex. I need to feel that you are a part of this relationship. and not just a sexual intercourse that takes place all the time. A maid comes to your house and she cleans. She cleans your house. So if you don't cook or clean, why don't I just get a prostitute and a maid? It's much cheaper, less of a headache, and I'm getting everything I want that you did not give. And some maids will cook and clean. So that's why I say, if you're that lazy maid, you have to understand that you have to be bringing more to the table. The extra burden and stress that you are putting on your mate, because it is a lot of extra stress. It is a lot of emotional burdens and baggage. And I don't think sometimes the lazy people realize that, because a person who is lazy, not working, doesn't cook, doesn't clean, your mate is not having to pick up that extra weight and carry it. And especially if you got kids. Now, there are some men and women out there who are in relationships and they're stay-at-home parents, but they're taking care of the kids. When they come home, the house is clean. When their husband or wife come home, food is ready. They don't have to do anything because the house is taken care of. So I get that. Could I be a stay-at-home dad? No, I could not. I'm sorry. I got to be out there working, okay? I got to get my man on, all right? So I can't be a stay-at-home dad, all right? But I'm damn sure going to contribute and make sure the household taken care of. All right, now let's move on. So, but before we move on, let's take this quick break, because y'all almost got me to go into a rant. Because, see, I don't like lazy people, man. I just really don't. I can't jive with lazy people, okay? I cannot do it. But we're going to talk some more about this. So y'all stay tuned right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
There are so many talented young men and women attending our HBCUs. Don't you think it's time we show them our support? This year, Reggie will be highlighting HBCU bands, dance teams, and sports programs. And we are inviting you to show your love as well by attending games in your area. When you buy tickets to attend these events, you are helping to support not only the programs, but the great minds of our future generation as well.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the second half of the show. And today we are talking about lazy mates in relationships. Now, I know we've all been there. Maybe you haven't. But for those of us who have been with somebody that's lazy and don't want to do anything, it's a challenge. It's a challenge because it feels like the weight of the relationship is on your shoulders, especially when something happens. You got to make that doesn't work. And maybe you want to change jobs. Maybe you want to experience a new career field, but you can't because the household is on your shoulders. There is no second income to help kind of balance out things. So you have to put everything you want to do on hold or standby. So there are impacts of being with a lazy mate. And that's what we're talking about today, man. We're talking about that. Dealing with relationship where you got a lazy woman, you got a lazy dude. They don't want to cook, clean. They don't want to contribute to the household. And sometimes you get a lazy mate, man. Now, let's just say the person does work. So we're not going to say everybody that's lazy don't work. But if you're a person and you're dating somebody that's lazy and they work and you work, but only thing they want to do outside of work is sit down, watch TV, play video games. They don't want to go nowhere. They don't want to explore the city. I mean, they don't even want to go to the park just to look at the lake. They don't want to do anything but sit around the house. That alone is enough to drive you crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. I know sometimes it's nice to cool, chill, sit at home, just relax. But if you got a mate, you have to consider them. If they want to get out and just kind of go do something, go do it. Spend a couple of hours. You're supposed to be with the person that you love and care about. If you're with somebody who likes to get out and kind of see things, take time to do that. You can sit around the house all week long during the week. At least on the weekends, give them that. So being with somebody lazy, man, we also mentioned in the earlier part of the show how it affects you emotionally. Because if you're with somebody that's lazy, you're carrying everything. And because this person sits at home sometimes, they're bored. You're at work. You're worried about the job, issues taking place in the job. You might be thinking about bills, but they're bored. So they want you to talk to them. They want you to motivate them. And in your mind, you're probably like, wait a minute, you sit at home all day. What am I supposed to be motivating you to do? Because they want you to fill that void when they get bored, when they have nothing to do or they can't think of anything to do. And, and they're like dredging you to talk about your day. And you're like, listen, the last thing I want to talk about is this crazy day I just had. I come home to get away from all that stupidity I have to deal with during the day. Now, after I wind down, maybe we can talk about it. And then you have the issue of sometimes the people who are lazy and sit at home all day, that when they get home, whether it be a man or woman, they want to go 100 miles an hour with the conversation. And you, on the other hand, are just kind of like, listen, I need 20 minutes of just cool down time. A woman might say, listen, I just want to soak in the tub with a glass of wine, light a few candles, put on some music, or just have total silence. But your dude is kind of like, well, let's talk. How was your day? What was going on? What happened? Tell me. Because they're bored. Because they have nothing to interject on. So they're basically living their life through you. Because the friends they got are probably not doing the same thing. Or they're dating, or they're hanging out with, or their friends, put it like this, their friends are doing more and they can't really entertain with their friends because their friends are like, you're complaining about your life. What? You sit at home all day. What are you complaining about? And this is not to say that everybody who sits at home is with a child, because you got some men and women who are so lazy, they're at home while the other person is at work. And there is no children involved. They are just simply not doing anything. And then you got some women and men who have maybe one child or two kids and they're at home and they're still not doing anything. But they will use the child as an excuse as to why they have to stay home. You got to realize something. Back in the day, our parents was out humping and grinding. 3, 4, 5 kids still on the job. And then still coming home to cook, clean, and take care of things. The man would go home and work, still come home and got to fix the barn, take care of the yard. Especially for black men, what they had to endure going out into the world and then coming back home. Because they have just been degraded and disrespected all day to feel less than a man. Then to come home and look at his wife and realize, man, I still don't feel like a man because I can't provide or give my family what they need. Watching his kids hunger. That's a whole nother show. But anyway, the point I'm making is, I do that sometimes. The point I'm making is, if you're at home all day and your mate is out working, they should never have to come home to cook and clean or take care of things. The person sitting at home should be able to do that. It is completely unfair to put that extra responsibility on that person. Because if you're at home and you're not working, you can be doing online courses. You can be starting your own business from home. There is something you can be doing to help out, bring money into the family. Sitting at home playing video games, sitting at home talking to the girls on the phone, sitting at home just watching soap operas, all this type stuff. I don't get it. I don't get it. And even for those who do work, but come home, don't want to do anything once they get home, but just flop on the couch. Is that really right to your mate? Are you really being fair because you want to sit home and do nothing? They work just like you, but they just want to go out. Maybe they want to go to the mall. Maybe they want to go to the park. Maybe they want to go to the botanical gardens. Maybe they want to go to the movies. Maybe they want to go to a football game. Or maybe they just want to get out of the house and spend some time with you to broaden the conversation spectrum that you two can have. But some people don't get that. They don't get it at all. So it's very difficult to be in a relationship with somebody that's lazy. It really is. Now, some people like it because they feel like, hey, I'm in control. Some people like having a lazy mate because that lazy mate is fully dependent on that person. So with them having a lazy mate, they have the control. They control the money. They control the house. They control what is done, what is not done. And some people really do like that. They love the fact that they have that dominating control, that they can make the decisions. So they don't want their mate to work. They don't want their mate to be out there. They don't want their mate to do anything. They want that control. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of the show that at some point, there might be some confusion about what is lazy and what is not lazy. Because one thing I do want to kind of quickly touch on, and I'm not going to go too deep into it. We're in a state in our society today where women are proclaiming themselves to be more independent. They want that independence. And by all means, they should be able to have that independence. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're also in a period to where women want that traditional male. They want that chivalry. But I've even dated someone where we went out to eat, and after we left the restaurant, I was just going to walk her to a car, and she didn't like that. I don't need nobody to walk me to a car. I can get to my car myself. You got some women who don't want the door held for them. You got some women who don't want a man to pay. I can pay for myself. So that makes some people think that, well, you know what? Some men are lazy in the aspect of dating or doing the things that a man should do. But how do you know who to do it for when you're shut down so many times when you attempt to show those acts of chivalry, those acts of respect and kindness? And it's not the intent that, oh, I want to kiss or, oh, I'm trying to get you home. No, it's just being a gentleman. I was always taught coming up that, you know, if you go out on a date, you walk a lady to the car, you walk her to the door, or you walk her to the gate. You sit outside. When she goes into the house, that's when you pull off. You don't just pull off when she gets out of the car. You make sure she gets in the house safely. So those are the things that we was taught, but those are the things that are being rebelled against now, as some women say, oh, it's uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't need it. I can protect myself. So that's not lazy dating. That's just a reactionary response maybe from some men that, listen, I've tried that and women don't like it. Some women get offended. So I don't know what to do. Do I do it or don't do it? Do I bring flowers or don't bring flowers? And I think that's the issue that a lot of people are dealing with right now when it comes to some aspects of relationships. But anyway, we got to take a break, okay? Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Stay right here. We'll be right back after the short message.
Hey, Simply Straight Talk family. Your host, Reggie, will be right back. So don't you dare touch that dial. Hello, Simply Straight Talk family. If you are enjoying this episode, at the end of the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. And why not share this with a friend? Also, visit our blog at newlifenewmind.com, where you can find additional articles on more great topics. Stay tuned. The show will continue right after this message.
RM Viaging is a company based on life's journey and sharing life lessons with the world in the form of laughter and reflection, inspiring people to go after their dreams and not giving up on life. RM Viaging creates inspirational music and motivational speeches designed to motivate all age groups. Visit our website at www.rmviaging.com to hear samples of our music. You will also find motivational articles on our blog page titled New Life, New Mind blog. We also have a weekly podcast hosted by Reggie called Simply Straight Talk, all on our website at www.rmviaging.com.
Hey everybody, we are back with the final thoughts of today's show. Today we talked about being in a relationship with a lazy mate. And we covered a lot. We covered a good bit. And I'm sure there's more to it that we can probably discuss later. So feel free to leave a comment of anything you think I missed, or maybe tell me about one of your experiences of being in a relationship with somebody that's lazy. Look, sometimes we get in relationships and we think we got one thing and we got something else. Now, if you're in a relationship with somebody lazy, me or nobody else can tell you whether or not you should leave that relationship or what's best for you in that relationship. You know that. You know the type of person you're in a relationship with. Did you know you're getting what you signed up for? Did you know what you were signing up for? Or did you just sort of turn a blind eye thinking it would change? Or do you feel like you were misled? Only you can answer that question because you know your relationship. You see the person you're with every day. You know if this person is actually good for you. And you just got to make a decision. You know, if you feel like this person is just too lazy and you're just that unhappy, then maybe you need to start maybe moving in a different direction. Or maybe you can talk to that person to see if they are willing to, be a little more outgoing, or maybe find something else they can do to help improve and contribute to the relationship and the household. Like I said, the real answer lies within you because you know your situation better than anybody else. Now, if you are that lazy mate, okay, for you, it's real simple. You just need to step up to the plate. And I know some people add, like I told you about my one friend where the lady wanted him to step up just 50%. You need to step up more than that because it's not fair for somebody to be given everything they got, not only to maintain a household, but to maintain a relationship. The emotional pressure and the stress from that is just really unfair to put on one person to be the sole foundation of the relationship holding everything up. You need to step up and contribute. I mean, even if you get a job at McDonald's and you bring it in $200 a week, you need to be bringing in something to help relieve that pressure from that person so they're not carrying the full weight. You need to help out. It's just not fair. If you're that man or woman who likes to just sit home all day and all night and don't like to go anywhere, suck it up, buttercup. You need to actually work with your mate because if they're out there working, you're working. I understand sometimes you're tired, but you mean to tell me that you can't take a weekend to just go out, a weekend to go to the movies, a weekend to just go to a football, a basketball, or maybe a theater show, or just go to the park, or just go for a ride, maybe go to the mall. There's something you can do to spend time with that person because you're in a relationship. You're right there. You're in the same city. You're in the same household. Sitting on the couch every night playing video games and watching TV or whatever you're doing is not going to help the relationship. And as far as the single people who sit at home who don't like to cook and clean, here's one thing I want to say to you. And it's an old saying. You may not like to cook and clean, but there's always another man or woman who's willing to step into the shoes that you're wearing right now, and you will not be hard to replace. Because I promise you, the one thing for me is I like a woman that can cook. She don't have to be a master chef. She don't have to be this flamboyant cook. But the fact that she's willing to cook for me and her or the family, to me, that's a huge plus. Why would I get with somebody who don't like to cook, who don't like to clean? That's like a woman being with me. So I have to do all the cooking and cleaning? Even though you're a man, you tell me you don't like to cook and clean? As a man, it's my responsibility. She may be tired. She may not be feeling well. I got to get in there and whip it up and make it happen. That's my woman. That's my queen. It's my responsibility to take care of her, just like it's her responsibility to take care of me. You got to be in this thing together. It can't be one person all out for themselves, getting as much as they can, while the other person works themselves to death and hope that you're happy sitting on your lazy butt with the food they just cooked or prepared or done for you, or clothes they bought for you or shopped for you while you've been sitting at home all day and they've been at work for 8 to 10, 12 hours dealing with these crazy people on the jobs, on the way home. So come on. I think we can all do better. I think we can do better as far as making sure that everybody is taken care of in a relationship. All right. So let's not be that lazy man. Let's not be that lazy woman. Let's be like Eddie Griffin said, the two buck cheeks that come together and be the foundation of a good relationship. I can't say the other word because I'm trying not to make this a vulgar thing. So let's do that. All right. Hey, thank you for joining us. And don't forget to check out those HBCU football games, those HBCU bands. Yes, the season has officially started. And if you don't have tickets, hey, man, listen to the show. All you got to do is subscribe. And guess what? You can win free tickets to an HBCU football game and check it out. All right? Do that. Go ahead and subscribe to the show, man. Go to the website, rmviagem.com, rmviagem, or simplystraighttalk.com. Okay? Hey, check out the show notes. Is there. Peace out.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. Connect with us at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to sign up to our newsletter and check out the New Life, New Mind blog at newlifenewmind.com. See you at the next episode.